Hello, I'm Commander Natarajan and I'm also a behavioral psychologist. I've done my PhD in psychology and I retired from the Navy in 2011 after putting in 25 years or so. I'm the director of Arvind Adventures. I'm here to take you through the entire concept of Arvind Adventures, and I will also show you each and every activity and highlight as to how does your child benefit from these. The project has been conceived with the realization that the present day children are more involved in indoor activities and they spend a lot of time with electronic gadgets like internet, mobile, telephony, etc. And this has led to uh, a lot of personality distortion in them. And the trend that we see of children suffering from depression or psychosomatic diseases, and a whole lot of children commit suicide or make an attempt to commit suicide. All this we feel somewhere there is a gap in their upbringing, uh, which is predominantly because of their withdrawal from the nature. Arvind Adventures has been conceived to bridge this gap. Hence, our mission is to unleash the potential of the future and the present generation of children through outbound training activities, thereby creating a confident, energetic, and enthusiastic India. This project was inaugurated in the month of April 2014. Around 1 year down the line, we have now decided to host a 1 week summer camp. We have bundled the whole product with both indoor as well as outdoor activities. And for the indoor activities, we have divided the group. We will be dividing the group into two parts: children of the age group 8 to 12 and that of 13 to 17. The children of 8 to 12 age group will be going through a whole lot of interesting activities like creativity, life skills, rhyme with music, fun with science, morals and ethics, uh, etc. And for the older group, they'll have a whole lot of interesting activities or sessions on things like dressing sense, body language, fine dining etiquettes, uh, communication skills, etc. Apart from this, there are a whole lot of adventure activities which will be held in the mornings and the evening time in the outdoors. And as we will go along, you will be able to see them. Each of these activities are very unique, and you won't get this kind of activities anywhere around Vidarbha at least. And we hope that at the end of the day, end of 7 days, children would have gone back bubbly, confident, learnt a lot of skills, and they would have spent 7 beautiful days of their life. Thank you. I'll take you through now the accommodation facility that we have for children, and then we will move on to the ground to see the activities. This is the dining space which can take about 100 children at a time. It has inbuilt toilet, wash and basin, and dedicated water cooler is available. This is a first aid room which is adjacent to the dining hall, and the basic first aid material is available throughout. And during the camp, a doctor and a nurse will be available 24/7. These are the hostel rooms, hostel blocks. There are three such blocks with a decent amenities available with hot and cold water being available 24/7. And there are 6 rooms in the ground floor in each of the blocks and 6 on the first floor. We provide a triple sharing accommodation, and each room has 2 rooms, a 2 room set along with a attached toilet bathroom. This is our campsite where we have a amphitheater and a small stage, and also a point where we do campfire. So most of the time the participants are around this place. As part of the camp, we make the students spend one night in the tents in the jungle environment. And as you can see, there are 10 men tents that are rigged, and we have 5 such tents. So at a time there are 50 students or 50 children who can be put up in these tents for one night stay. We have an outdoor kitchen, and as part of the night survival drill or when we ask the students to spend one night in the jungle, we also ask them to cook their own food. So the basic ingredients are given to them, and it is here that the children make their own food for one night. And as when they work as a team, and they cook food and they eat and they square up everything, they learn a lot of skills very naturally. This place is surrounded by hills and a lot of greenery around with a lot of water body. And this pond that you see is where we do water sorbing. Water sorbing is a very interesting activity wherein there's a rubberized ball where we put in the child and it is pressurized to air, and the ball is let into this water. The depth here is not very much, so hence it is very safe for the children, and as they roll inside the ball and they move on the water, and that can be extremely thrilling. These are smaller tents that you see, a group of smaller tents in the middle of the jungle that we have rigged up. And normally these tents we use for family camps who come and stay overnight here with us and spend a very beautiful evening on the pond side in the middle of the jungle, and they sleep in these tents. What you see now is a toilet tent, and there is a trench that has been made inside this. So this can be used while one is staying in the jungle in the night, and if there is a urgent need. Otherwise, we have conventional toilets also around the camp area which they can use. Particularly for girls, those conventional toilets are recommended. This is a country raft which has been made using empty water cans or oil cans, which are tied around, tied underneath the bamboo platform that you see. And this is what we actually unrigged the whole thing, and we asked children to make something using the material given, so that they can move from one end of the pond to the other end. And through this, for smaller children, we teach them the concepts of Archimedes principle, flotation, buoyancy, etc., etc. And when they do this in a competitive environment as part of competition between two groups, then there is a lot of energy, and they work as a team. And of course, again, this is very safe because the water here out is not very deep, and there is always a swimmer around who is always standby to just pick up any kid who may just fall into water. But absolutely, there is nothing to worry. It's not very deep at all. There are two towers, and these towers are connected with two wire ropes. And the participant, using a seat harness and a carabiner, he hangs on to the lower wire rope and travels from one end to the other. He's also connected to the top wire rope, and just in case something happens to the lower rope, his weight gets transferred automatically to the upper rope, and hence no, there is complete redundancy in the activity, and it is very safe. You can now see how the participant gets launched and travels. You may wonder, what does river crossing teach a child? While you have seen the demonstration, they are trained trainers, so he is very easily passed on from one end to the other. Though we have a safety measure, we can pull him to the other end. We don't exercise the safety option unless he completely gives up. We motivate him, we ask his other teammates to cheer him up, and gradually he starts pushing himself, and finally he reaches the other end. And once he reaches the other end, he feels that now it is all in the mind. What he thought he cannot do, he could actually do it. So unless you do something in your life, you will never realize what you are capable of, and these are the small things that will develop your confidence, and you will be able to do much better things in life. This activity is called multi-vane. or they are also called as hanging bridge, where the participant moves stepping on one hanging bridge at a time, as you can see. Now it may seem very easy, but it is not so. It is by far one of the most difficult activities at Arvind Adventures, and what it teaches is determination and focus. Even if a little bit of concentration is lost, there are chances of the participant not falling down exactly, but he loses balance and he'll have to struggle. As you can see, there is a rope which is hanging on to the wire rope on the top. So in case he slips, the participant doesn't come down, whereas he'll be hanging on the top rope. And there is safety, but he'll lose his balance. And once on water, there is always a swimmer who is standby on the country raft, just in case he falls into the water, he can be recovered. This is Kolar River, which is originating from a lake which is about 9 kilometers from the campsite, and this is where we conduct river rafting. As we go down this river, this channel becomes narrow, and it gives a feel as if you are in the backwaters of Kerala. And while this activity may look like a very simple, fun kind of activity, there is a whole lot of things to learn in this. Now, the boat will not go straight unless all the team members work in tandem or in coordination. And this is what we teach them through this activity, that unless you all work together, you will not be able to achieve the objectives. That could be that of a family or a work environment where you are working, and or it be a small little boat which you have to take to a particular destination. ओके इसमें आप लोगों को एक चार्ट दिया जाएगा, ओके, और एक पर्टिकुलर पॉइंट में आपको लेके जाके छोड़ दिया जाएगा, ठीक है। उस पॉइंट पे खड़े होके वहाँ पे दिखाया, चार्ट में दिखा है कि किस डिग्री पे या किस दिशा में आपको चलना है और कितने कदम चलना है, ठीक है। और दिशा हम कैसे सेट करेंगे, मेरे हाथ में जो है इसको बोलते हैं मैग्नेटिक कंपास, ओके। ये कंपास जो है इसको ऐसे पकड़ा जाता है, ठीक है। आपका अंगूठा ऐसे रखना है, और ये जो उंगली है, ये उंगली को उसको नीचे रखे, इसको टिल्ट नहीं करना, सेंटर ऐसा नहीं करना, ऐसे नहीं करना, सेंटर में रखना, और ये आपको वो दिशा की तरफ इंडिकेट करेगा। इसके अंदर एक निडल है जो उस दिशा के अंदर आपको इंडिकेट करेगा, ठीक है। वो दिशा किस तरफ है, वो उस तरफ आपको जाना है। तो आपको एक टीम की तरह काम करना है। तो एक बंदा होगा जिसके हाथ में ये दिशा होगा, एक के पास ये चार्ट होगा, और बाकी के लोग गिनती करते हुए आगे बढ़ेंगे। जैसे यहाँ लिखा है 60 कदम चलना है, तो 60 कदम चलने के बाद आपको उधर ढूंढना है, उधर आपको कहीं ना कहीं एक क्लू मिलेगा, एक क्लू मिलेगा। वो तकरीबन पेड़ में लगा है, किसी न किसी वहाँ के आस पड़ोस के पेड़ में लगा होगा। जैसे वो क्लू आपको दिख गया, उसमें क्या लिखा है वो पढ़ना है, और आपको साथ में एक पेपर और पेंसिल दिया गया है, उस पेपर और पेंसिल में आपने नोट करना है। पॉइंट नंबर 1 क्लू में क्या लिखा था वो आपको लिखना है, ठीक है। उसके बाद उस पॉइंट पे खड़े होके अगला दिशा आपको सेट करना है, जो इस चार्ट में दिखा हुआ है कि पॉइंट नंबर 1 से 2 में जाने के लिए कौन सी दिशा में हमको जाना है। फिर आपने मैग्नेटिक कंपास वहाँ खड़े होकर देखना है, और वो दिशा कहाँ पॉइंट कर रहा है वो आपको देखना है, और उस दिशा में आपको चलना है। चलें? चलिए, मैं पहला पॉइंट पे ले जाके आपको मैं छोड़ता हूँ, वहाँ जाके मैं दोबारा एक बार समझा के आपको रवाना करूँगा। जी सर। चलिए। We have fixed 13 such clues in the jungle, and two teams are started together. One team moves from point number 1 to point number 7, and the other team moves from 13 to 7. The team which reaches point number 7 first is the winner. This activity is called trust fall, where the participant is required to stand in the opposite direction and fall on a net which his friends are holding for him. This activity is extremely thrilling, and it is very fearful too. This is a very interesting activity called group obstacle race, where a maximum of four teams can be put together and asked to race against six obstacles. And there are certain rules which will keep the team together, and it ensures that the weaker ones are supported by the stronger ones and they mutually complement each other. And these are some things which, as a psychologist, we very closely observe. And in the end of the activity, we brief the students. Clearly, the team which is well coordinated, where there is a lot of understanding, that goes on to win this race. During the camp, the participants will also be getting an opportunity to learn shooting and archery. These are again very interesting activities which normally the students of this generation or children of this generation do not get an opportunity to try their hands on. This activity is called the wall climbing, where you can see colorful holes have been put on a. It is actually an industrial chimney, which we are using it as a wall. And using these holes, the participant is required to climb up to 45 feet. Of course, the participant is on safety harness, which is connected to the anchor chain cable on top. And there is a person who is controlling her ascent and descent. This is extremely safe, absolutely safe. There's nothing to worry. However, what happens normally is that halfway down, the participant tends to give up. But then, in the presence of others, everybody motivating, he or she finally achieves that height of 45 feet. This is called rappelling, where the participant holding a rope comes down from a height. And the rappelling height at Arvind Adventures is 90 feet, which is very, very high as compared to anybody around. This activity is called zip line, and this is the most thrilling activity at Arvind Adventures. In this, the participant rolls down on a wire rope across a valley which is about 120 feet high and about 360 feet wide. And you will find there's a small river that flows underneath, and the whole experience is wonderful. Once the participant reaches the other side, he or she is required to walk on this bamboo bridge, which is again about 120 feet high from the ground. And she's connected to a top line, so there is absolute safety. Even if she slips or anything, she's not going to come down. And once she walks on this bamboo bridge and reaches the other side, you find an absolutely new person altogether. She would have overcome height phobia and all kind of fears, and he or she will be very, very confident thereafter. These are some of the equipment that we use at Arvind Adventures, and all of them are imported, and they are regularly maintained and tested. So the chances of accident because of poor equipment is extremely remote with us. In addition to all these activities, we have developed few very good team building games, and through these games, the participants learn a lot of finer points of working as a team, and how to coordinate with each other, how to cooperate so that they achieve the overall objectives of the organization or any team for that matter, be it in the school, be it at home. In addition to various indoor and outdoor facilities that you may have seen so far, we also have a lush green lawn, and this is where we conduct the morning yoga and meditation sessions. In addition, we also have a huge hall which can accommodate about 500 people. It has a stage inside which we use for cultural programs, and we can host whole lot of other sessions, corporate sessions or training sessions, etc. By far, this place is full of greenery, and it is amidst natural beauty. On the one side we have mountain, on the other side we have valley, we have river, we have pond, and we have a huge lake. And staying here would be a pleasure. This is a destination for people who want to spend a peaceful weekend with their loved ones and want to engage in activities like fishing, this is a lovely place. So here is where we culminate, and what you have seen so far is just the glimpse of what we do here. It will not be practical to show everything that we do. There is also a site around 3 kilometers away from the base camp, which is a beautiful lake with a fantastic lakeside and a lagoon where we conduct parasailing and kayaking and scuba diving.